Detectives proceeding cautiously as they investigate the death of a missing California teenager whose body was found in a car belonging to popular singer-songwriter David. How 15-year-old Celeste Rivas died and whether a crime was committed remain crucial questions that sources tell ABC News could take weeks, even months, to answer.
It's an ongoing investigation. We have a lot of resources dedicated to bringing it to a conclusion.
Rivas had been missing for a year and a half. The LA County medical examiner unable to determine a cause of death so far, now waiting on lab tests to come back. Her badly decomposed remains wrapped in plastic discovered inside the trunk of this black Tesla that had been abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. The registered owner, David Anthony Burke, who goes by the stage name David. The medical examiner revealing Rivas had a tattoo reading "shh" on her index finger. David has the same one. It's a popular design among performers. Investigators were seen searching the residence he was renting last week and allegedly removing a computer. The 20-year-old musician has not been named as a suspect.
In order for there to be a prosecution, law enforcement has to find some key pieces of information when it comes to a potential homicide. First, they actually need to figure out if it's a homicide or not, and the autopsy report will help give them that. Then they have to figure out the who and the how in order to bring charges.
And while a source close to the investigation says all promotion for David's new album has been put on pause, Billboard reporting streaming of his music has doubled since news of his possible connection to Rivas' death emerged. Some fans now pointing out disturbing images seen in his music videos like One More Dance, which shows a bloody David and a body being placed in a trunk.
After watching you.
Yo, this is such a travesty, and if I was the mother or the father or anybody, which I'm not really sure that that's going to play a major role in it whatsoever, because they knew that she was in a relationship with a person named David, allegedly, and then they saying that they didn't know that it was him. But if I was the mother or the family members, man, listen, I would be pissed off. I would be doing interviews. I would be advocating. I would be on Capitol Hill. I would be writing the president. The fact that you had a 12, 13-year-old girl that was in a relationship with a grown man and it just so happens to be a viral singer, and then he has a song named Celeste and he has all these visual cues, including different things that he did at his concert that actually reflected the relationship, and then at the same time kind of spoke to or gave reference to the possibility of him killing her is just so sad. Y'all need to be careful and make sure that your daughters and your sons is not involved in stuff they're not supposed to be in. Because this don't make no sense. I don't agree with it. I think it's very sad. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's very bad that we are in a society and a culture where all of these demonic ways and these demonic powers continue to proliferate, and we not necessarily changing the culture. We not more protective over our children. We're not more protective and vigilant as far as visibility on our neighbors and nothing like that. Nobody's seen or heard anything. It had been sitting there all summer. Decomposition. They can't even figure out the way she died because she's stuffed and allegedly chopped up and put into the front of the trunk. And now they can't even necessarily charge her because they don't even know the way that she died. It has to be an investigation. And we don't know whether or not he's really cooperating or not. So it's just bad, bro. The new evidence, all of this stuff is very, very bad. Look at this nonsense.
Recently, mourners gathered at a vigil for the California teen, authorities returning her body to her family this week.
Now, sources telling us they have the evidence that they need from her body. And while they wait on those lab results, again, the promotion for David's new album has stopped and the U.S. portion of his tour has been canceled.
Doesn't even matter because he's basically being rewarded for this. And so, there's more and more people streaming his music. I would suspect not only because, they trying to find out more about him. I had never heard about him until I started seeing videos and evidence about him being involved with this younger girl and then her body being found in a trunk that was registered to him that he never actually said was stolen. It's a Tesla, so the first thing that they should be doing also is possibly soliciting camera footage because Tesla has cameras in Sentry mode all over the car. And I'm also assuming that the car was dead at certain points because if the battery is not used and it's just sitting out there on the side of the road for a long time, then the battery could possibly die. But I also heard that her body was returned back to her family.
We are getting new information now about the 15-year-old girl found dead in the trunk of the car of singer David. Detectives are intensifying their investigation into the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, while her family says they're making plans to honor her life. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Fisher joining us now with the latest developments. Michelle?
Well, Mark, what we do know right now is that this family has Celeste's remains. They are one step closer now to laying her to rest as they grieve, but we still do not know how Celeste Rivas was killed, who did it, or why.
An investigation into the death of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas continues as the LA County Medical Examiner confirms her remains have now been released to her family for memorial services. That could indicate a cause of death has been determined, but that information hasn't been released. This more than 2 weeks after Rivas's dismembered and decomposing body was found at a tow yard inside a Tesla registered to singer David.
It's an ongoing investigation. We have a lot of resources dedicated to bringing it to a conclusion.
LAPD Chief Jim McDonald speaking with Eyewitness News today about the relationship between 20-year-old David and Rivas, who just turned 15 earlier this month.
There are discussions that they might have had a relationship. Would you investigate that relationship as a possibility? Because it could be illegal to have a relationship with somebody that age.
Yeah, certainly whenever you investigate a homicide, the detectives look at all of the associated issues as well. In this case, that's something that they would be looking at.
Last week, investigators took a computer as they searched a Hollywood Hills home where David had recently stayed. The singer, who was on tour, has now canceled all of his shows, but has not commented on the investigation. As he remains silent, his fans are loud online, critiquing his lyrics and music videos that feature gory imagery and themes. One of his most popular songs, titled Romantic Homicide. And take a look at this video for One More Dance.
Yeah, we get it. We get it. So the fact of the matter is that I think that it's absolutely horrendous, number one, that he was in a relationship with a woman that was a girl that was underage, because that in itself is very bad. And I think that if the parents was possibly a lot more vigilant over this girl that obviously was out here in these streets, she wouldn't be stuffed in the front of a trunk of a Tesla. That's number one. Number two, I think that it's unfortunate that her body was so decomposed that they couldn't even identify her remains, and then they had to return the remains over to her family, which obviously I'm assuming that it had to be a vigil or service in which her casket couldn't be opened because the body is decomposed. Nobody should have to find their daughter and their loved ones in this state and have to deal with this type of nonsense. And we wouldn't even have known about it had content creators, in my opinion, not started talking about it, because we are the ones that started to bring visibility to this thing. And it's not even really being discussed on a national level. It's still being discussed on a local level. And we are the ones that keep on bringing you guys the updates of what's going on, because, again, I think it's important, and the learned lesson here is to protect your daughters, protect your kids. Don't let them get too involved. Don't let them be too free. Pay attention. Put that fine mile on them and stop letting them be in the streets. She was allegedly on some of his live streams. He got songs in reference to her. You can't tell me that somebody that was around him was not aware of what he had going on. Who was his parents? Who was his handlers? Was he signed to a label? What's going on? He would do appearances and all kind of stuff. And so all of a sudden he just disappeared? Get out of here, bro. I'm going to stay on top of it. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. T. Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.